Hello, I'm Steve Maskery and welcome to Workshop Essentials. The Workbench, eh? Arguably the most important tool in the workshop. I built this bench many years ago, 20-something, maybe close to 30 years. I really can't remember what year it was. And on the whole, I've been very pleased with it. It served me well. But the time has come to replace it. And if it served me well, why do I want to get a new one? Well, a couple of things have happened since I built this. The first thing is that I am getting shorter. I used to be up here, and it was a sensible height, and now I'm down here. I've lost nearly 2 inches since I built this. And this is feeling high to work at. And the other thing that's happened is that it's had an infestation of woodworm. Now, it had an infestation when it was brand new, actually, which I fixed and never had any other problems with it. But last year, I came down one day and there was this little critter crawling across the top. Oh, what on earth's that? And then there was another one. I thought, oh, no. So I decided to have a new bench before the next season. And we're middle of April now, so it won't be long before they come out if they have laid in there. So I'm going to take everything I like about this bench and add a few bits to it. Now, this came straight out of Scott Landis's book, the Workbench book. And lots of things about it that I like. I like the tail vise arrangements. I like the dog holes. I wish there was more of them. This has got sled feet, so I can't just lop an inch off to make it lower. So that's unhelpful at this stage. And the front legs are set back by about 5.5 inches, actually 140 mil or so, which limits me in the for my clamping options in terms of vices and clamps and so on and so forth. And it was Chris Schwartz that says the front of your bench and the front of your legs should be flush. There should be no overhang at the top. And I fully understand where it's coming from. So I'm going to take all the best bits of this and add a few other bits and pieces. So more dog holes and a tool well. I've never had a tool well, and tool wells are like Marmite, I think. You either love them or you hate them. And I'm designing it so that you can have a tool well or you can have it flush, depending on what you want for any given job. So over the last couple of months, I have gone from having this to having this. This is my new workbench, and I have to say, having lived with it for a few days, I am absolutely over the moon with it. It's everything I hoped it would be, and more besides. It's several inches longer than my old one, and a couple of inches wider. But it doesn't actually take up any more room, because it's also about an inch lower, and that feels a much more comfortable height for me now. And because it's lower, I can move it right up to my table saw over there, without it interfering with crosscut operations, which is what the old bench used to do. So I've still got the same amount, in fact, probably a little bit more room of clearance round at this right-hand side. This is enormously rigid. There is no movement in it at all. And that's partly because I've done some rather excellent joinery, but it's also because I've got this great big apron on the back here. Now, on an English bench, the apron, if you had one, would traditionally be on the front. But that limits me on clamping operations on the front. I do like to be able to use trigger clamps on the front of my bench, and an apron prevents me from doing that. But by putting the apron on the back, it gives me the same amount of rigidity, but it's out of the way. So that's really helpful. I've got a tool well, and I've never had a tool well before. We'll see whether or not I like it. But it's a configurable tool well because it's in 4 sections. And so I can take this out. And this can go on there. And so now I've got a shorter tool well and some flush area. And I can have the tool well in 2 sections or 3 sections, and it can be there, 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 in the middle. It's very configurable. And it can all be flush if I want. I can take them all out, put them on the top here. The whole thing will be flush. It's got lots of excellent clamping options here. I reckon I can clamp anything in any orientation on this. But to show you that, it's best if you see this side, so I'll just swivel it round. Don't go away. This is the working side of the bench. It would normally be over there, of course. I've reused my old vise from my old bench, but it's got a bigger jaw on, and the rear jaw is set flush with the front edge of my bench. The other one wasn't, for a very good reason, but this I think will be better. And these legs are flush with the bench as well. And that means that with a sliding dead man like this can be moved anywhere along there, like that. I've got a peg here, which can act as support to support boards like this. And I can work on that edge now, and that's not going to drop on me. I've got lots of other support options on this that can live in the back there, so I don't knock it. So, for example, I've got various sets of dogs, some medium-sized, some tallish ones for thicker stock, and some shorter ones for thinner stock. And let's use the medium-sized ones. And that can go in there, and in there, and then my tail vise can clamp that up so that doesn't move. If I want to hold it that way, over here, I can replace these bench dogs with these dogs. They consist of a peg and a swivelling block with soft faces. So that goes there and that goes there like that. And I can work on it in that position if I wish. I've also got the option still of clamping things down to the front edge of the bench, like that, because the apron is at the back, out of the way. And I've got some holdfasts to hold things down. Doesn't move. And they get stored out of the way. So I reckon I can clamp pretty much anything, pretty much anywhere on this bench. I've also got a power supply here. Now, my other power supply on my old bench was on the end there. It was out of the way, it was reasonably convenient. But all the sockets were vertical, which meant that some plugs where the cable is coming out the bottom were fine, but some plugs, which were the transformer for power tools, the cable would come out of the top. And that meant when it was stuck up, it was actually quite vulnerable to getting knocked. So I've replaced it with one where the sockets are all at 45 degrees. And the ones on the back are oriented the other 45 degrees. So whether I'm plugging in a plug with the cable coming out of the bottom, I can plug it on this side. And if I'm doing a power supply unit where it's coming out of the top, I can put it on the back side, and that way it's coming out and it's not going to get knocked against the leg or anything like that. So, if you would be interested in watching how I did this, starting with rough sawn timber, then why not come down to my workshop with me and play along, watch along, and we'll see what is involved in building something like this. And even if you don't want to build a bench that's exactly like this, maybe you'll get some good ideas for things to incorporate in your next bench. So I look forward to seeing you along with the build, and until then, enjoy your workshop. Cheerio!